Hey, what's up, guys? So, a few days ago, as you may have seen, I made a video about how I'd suddenly discovered that my football manager save was corrupted and was thinking, geez, what's going to happen? And maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I signed too many players. Maybe, this was off, that was off. We played too many games or whatever. I've discovered what the problem is, and it's a little bit frightening. I don't know if it's because of the editor data file that I'm using or what. I would love to sort of know what you guys think about this. So I was messing around with it a little bit today, and I'll show you what I've discovered. So here, I'll load my game. I've started making backups of all of my save games after seeing this corruption problem, and we're going to do something a little bit fun here to try to see if we can figure out what the corruption is caused by. So the thing that pushed this forward was I started getting my scouts to go around and scout players individually from other teams, other national teams around the world. And I included China, of course, because that's where we are, right? And I thought, okay, well, that makes sense, right? And after I did that, the save became corrupted, and I strongly suspected that it has something to do with adding these players to the scouting roster. Well, when I did a little bit earlier today, and you can see it takes forever for this to load, because of all the data, which is probably somewhat caused by the editor data files that we're using. What I learned earlier on today, though, so we're going to do a little save game as. We're just going to call this corrupt. It's not a corrupt file at the moment, but we'll do that so that we don't hurt the normal save file. I do have everything backed up into a different folder too, just in case. But what I learned today while I was messing around with this is that even if I don't add players to a certain short list, or if I don't have them scouted or whatever, just by looking at the national team screen, I can cause this to happen. Now, I don't know which team is, which one of the China teams is causing it, but it's one of them. And I'll show you there's something weird when we go here to the China national teams. See, the senior squad is filled with players who are under 18, which is really odd. We have our goalie, Liu Xiaoziyang, should be on this squad. He's not. They only have one goalie, who is this dude. All right, you go over here and you look at the other teams. I mean, these are not really filled up, but the under 23 teams, I've not seen any of them filled up at all for any teams around the world. And you look over here, okay, you have the under 21s, there's your under 19s, there's your under 18s. Nobody's on that. Okay, fine. So we're done with looking at that. We're going to save game here as corrupt, right? And so I'm looking over here, and it will, it saves here as corrupt.fm. This will take a second, of course, because it's a big file. Now, the interesting thing is that I've done nothing to change this. However, the corrupt.fm file is going to end up being larger than my actual save file. In fact, I will show you that here. Let's see. We'll organize this by date modified. We'll go over here to screen mode in OBS, and you can see here's corrupt.fm, and it's a slight bit larger than the last save overwrite backup file or than the NBN file. These are two basically the same files, right? So, that's kind of weird, like what's going on. Okay, so I can still do things in the game right now, right? All of this is okay, but if I go here to the menu, quit the start screen, say, yes, I want to quit the start screen, and then I'm going to load corrupt. Let's see what happens. Let's see if anything loads. So game was loading a little bit. It's loading a little bit. And boom, the game exits, right? So there's something wrong with that part of the Chinese national team. I don't know which of these teams it is. I don't know if I need to investigate further. I thought at first, oh, this is going to be a problem because my scouts are going to run into these players, and then as soon as the scouts do, it's going to corrupt the save file. No, it's something to do with the Chinese national team. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming that it has to do with the editor data file that I'm using, probably the Chinese language one that's sort of the backbone behind all of this. Precisely what the problem is, though, is a complete mystery to me. I have no idea what it is and how they screwed it up. Anyway, this is sort of a warning to you to be careful when you go out and start using weird save files and stuff. One of the problems is that Sports Interactive will not offer you service on the file. You're not going to be able to get technical support on it because it's not a Sports Interactive problem, right? The problem is caused likely by the editor data file. The fact that this appears, at least from what I can see, the fact that it only seems to affect the Chinese national team tells me that it almost certainly is something in that editor data file, something that was changed by this database that I'm using. So Anyway, there you have it. We're going to keep on going and pushing forward with the save, but I'm going to have to be very, very careful because I can't look at anything that's connected to the Chinese national team. And in fact, I kind of predict that somewhere along the line, we're going to get to a point where the game will be impossible to continue. Because I don't think that we can play this game without having a national team. Anyway, though, as you can see, just in case you're worried about it, when we go back to Football Manager, it still is in the process of loading. But here it is. We have loaded up the save again. Everything is fine. And we're saving this again. This is saving as the Yanbian file. And this is going to be what we continue to play with going forward. So everything is fine. The save will continue for now. But at some point in time, we're going to get to the point where this is going to rear its ugly head. Exactly what it is, I don't know. I'm not that conversant with the pregame editor. I'm not exactly going to be able to jump in and see exactly what problem was made or what caused it. But pay attention to that when you're doing your own saves, because if you're a little bit fast and loose with this, you might run into these problems. Now, I'm going to continue on this channel to promote the work done by editors who I know what they're doing and who have a good track record. That's the other thing I'd recommend doing. As much fun as the save has been, grabbing some random editor file off the Steam Workshop is not always the best idea because you'll run into weird problems like this. I mean, you don't know if the person has actually done any playtesting on it at all. You don't know if one of their changes has completely destroyed something within the game. I suspect that this may have something to do with the fact that China in my game is in Europe, not in Asia. That may have caused some sort of major corruption in the national team itself. And just like I just said, the makeup of this national team is bizarre and completely different from every other national team in the world. So something weird is going on. Anyway, so keep that in mind when you play around with this stuff, and hopefully your files don't become too corrupted. And if you worry that something will corrupt them, always keep backups of your save files. The last overwrite save backup feature is okay, but if that's corrupted as well, you're in trouble. I would say make sure that you go slowly when you're making progress in your save. Keep backups and then backups of backups just in case. And we're going to push forward with this as far as we can, and hopefully it doesn't crash and burn on us. Talk to you later. Bye.